Welcome everyone to the Paranormal Pride. I've got an update for all of you guys. Had to change out my guests. Holly and Dallas are both sick. We all went out for Thanksgiving dinner. Not me with them, but we all went out for Thanksgiving dinner, got new germs, and now everybody's sick. In fact, Ron and I also have sore throats and stuff as well. So if you hear something strange, let me know, and maybe I can fix it. Or not. But tonight, my guest is going to be Nick Simons. He has decided to step up and help me out by being a guest tonight. And before we get started, I wanted to say, rest in peace, Linda Godfrey. I'm really sad that she passed away. And she was a very nice lady. I met her up at the Van Meter Festival back in 2019. And she spent a lot of time talking to me. She's about 5 foot tall, I think. One very big. She wrote 18 books. She's the one that did the original report on the Beast of Bray Road. And so that got a lot of attention, and she deserved a lot of attention. Don't know the reason why she passed. Doesn't matter. She's gone, and it's a loss to the community. So please, say a prayer that she passes on happily. So, and now to a happier note. Now we're going to bring up Nick Simons, and we're going to talk about all kinds of crap tonight. So Nick, you're muted.
I am unmuted now.
So how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm awake. It's been a long Monday. Coming back after vacation is always hard. And I actually took time off of work for a change. I don't normally do that. I usually work about 60, 70 hours a week. And this week I did not. So nice change of pace. So how was your Thanksgiving?
Good. My dad and stepmom, both unbeknownst to them, got a free turkey from both of their occupations after they had already purchased a turkey. So we ended up cooking up like 3 turkeys, and it was just plenty of turkey going around.
Well, I bet you there's a lot of turkey casseroles this week.
Turkey casseroles, turkey sandwiches. I was actually at the store when you frantically got a hold of me to fill in tonight, and I had to drop my pork rinds and go and check out. I was getting some supplies to make some kind of turkey dish, turkey casserole or turkey noodle soup.
Yeah, well,
I feel kind of like Bubba from Forrest Gump. You can have turkey sandwiches, turkey gumbo.
Yeah. I made two turkey breasts, and we thought, we got less people coming to the holiday. I'm not going to need 2. It's all gone. And that's, it was, one was 7 pounds and the other was 6.5. So you figure just our family of, let's see, 5 people ate all that.
Well, at least everybody brought their appetites, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it was all gone the next day, which is, made a lovely casserole and sandwich. That was it. So we thought that I'd be able to narrow it down to 1 turkey next time. Nope, still gonna have to be 2. The leftovers is sometimes the best part.
It is. You could stir that turkey into a chili, then have that chili 5 days later. And well, it tastes really good then.
Well, you heard Gronk, he's still eating it. That's what he said during the pregame stuff, that he's still eating turkey for 6 days.
Yeah, we are too here.
So, well, I'm glad you had a good Thanksgiving, and hopefully you don't get any illnesses from being around people.
So far so good, knock on wood. Nobody's getting sick, so.
Yeah, we saw all of our kids in the last week. All of our kids, all of our grandkids, it's all good to me, so I'm happy. But so we're tonight, it's a little bit different being on the Paranormal Pride as opposed to being on the show that you were on last time. We don't talk any politics or anything like that. And I do not know why no one's speaking up. If you're out there and you're listening, please say something wherever you're at so that I know that you're here. And of course, I just lost my guest. So, but he'll be back. He'll be back. He's like a boomerang. See?
What happened?
Nick decided to run away.
Oh,
I was just sitting here listening to you. I don't know what happened there.
Like I said, I told everybody you'd be back. You're like a boomerang. So,
A big boomerang.
so you guys have an event coming up on Saturday.
Yep, Saturday, December 3rd, from 6:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. It is the Madison Paranormal Investigation presents Kids Night Out at the Rock Island YMCA.
Well, you know what's good about that is on December 3rd at 5:15 Central, we are getting a virtual tour of the YMCA during our No Travel Required SuperCon right here on the Bill of Rights Network on Friday and Saturday. So, but on Saturday, our opening guest is the YMCA. So everybody will be able to get to see what it looks like, and who knows, maybe they'll catch some paranormal activity while we have Candy showing us around.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to beat Candy to the YMCA and run and hide somewhere in the darkness and wait for her.
Well, the thing is, it will be dark by 5:15.
Yeah, it gets dark up here by 4:30. It's starting to phase out and getting darker and darker.
So, hey there, Steve. I hope you're doing good. And so, has your event sold out yet?
No, there's still a couple tickets left. It's less than 10 tickets left, I do believe. I just talked with Lisa, the owner, today, and she said there's a few spots left, and she's expecting people to be walking up to the door and just totally skipping over the flyer and just going right into
Well, that's why
roll
you
call,
like it.
pretty much.
Well, you kind of want people to just walk up.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times there's, you buy your tickets online and there's a surcharge and all that. And to get a deal, people want to go up to the door and pay for it right then and not have that surcharge.
Yeah,
So-
we've been posting about it on Facebook all weekend. Aaron made a video. You visit Aaron G. Thompson, paranormal investigator, his creator page. I think that's what they're called now. You can watch a cute video of him and his daughter at the YMCA, and everything he says, she repeats it, and she's all, she's a little toddler, so she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna be at the YMCA." It's just cute.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
check
I'll
it
have
out.
to check that out because she is so adorable.
Yes, she is.
Seems like she doesn't seem like she could be old enough to be talking, but I know she is. So, because I know my grandson was born they're around the same age. So, so when are you having kids? I mean, not you yourself, but your wife.
Eventually, we're working on it.
Well, I gave a treat to somebody and told them this was for making babies, and they have babies now. So that's
turkey.
no. Well, that's my daughter. My daughter's turkey, but it was amaretto. I made amaretto, and I gave it to Adam from Creeps.
Oh yeah, Mr. Adam Tillery.
Yep, gave it to Adam. Told him it was so that they could get a baby, and guess what they got? They got a baby. So, and that baby is about little bit older than our granddaughter. So she feels like I've known them. Well, I have known them forever. Seems like 2009 seems like a long, long time ago now.
Yeah, I met him way back in 2012 at Farrar School in Maxwell, Iowa. I should reach out to him. I got to see if he's had some problems with my Facebook a year or two ago and lost a boatload of people. That's how you and I were not friends.
That's why
at
we
one
were
point in time.
estranged.
Yeah, we were estranged friends on Facebook, and I'm wondering if maybe he's one of the few that also got lost I have
Well,
to look into that and send him a little something.
well, I'll tell you a quick story about him. We were getting ready to go to the Belvoir Winery. Okay. Actually, we weren't getting ready to go. We didn't even know about it. I'd heard about it on TV, and it was around Halloween time, and I'd heard about it on the news. And then there was something else that I'd seen that said, 10,000 deaths and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and the first thing I thought was, how in the heck can you prove that? That was first thing. But the second thing is when you looked up Belvoir Winery, the first thing that came up was creeps, because they were helping do tours there. And this was around the same time that Ghost Facers was on Supernatural.
You know how many people used to call Aaron and I ghost facers when we were doing Ghost Crier?
I can see that happening, but you guys aren't like them. But I mean, I'm watching these videos of the creeps, and I'm going, Ron, you got to watch this. This is great. I said, these guys are having a great time. I said, they can't be real paranormal investigators. It's got to be like ghost facers. Okay. So fast forward to November of that year when I bought tickets to the Belvoir Winery, and we're checking in, and here's all these people. Yeah, they pull up in their car that's all decorated that says creeps and has on all their flak gear and all that. And they put us in a group.
Tactical gear.
Yeah, they put us in a group and say, you're with them. And I go, oh my God, Ron, these are the people I was making fun of. So needless to say, Adam, Alec, and Gideon we all became very good friends at that point, because I had to tell them, that I thought that they were like ghost facers and that they were hilarious, and I don't think they were meaning to be, but they were, So, and of course they only live up the road, not too far from us up in KCK. So it's not all that far away.
Right.
But it was just funny, the first time I meet them, and it's like, oh my God, I've already insulted them, and I have never even met these people. but
First impressions are everything.
Well, at least they always remember me.
That's one way to stand out.
And Adam also did the drawing that's in the book that has the story that I wrote in it. He did the sketch long before the book, because I had seen this thing, and he asked me to describe it, and I described it, and he drew it. So you ever need a good sketch artist, he's the guy to talk to.
Yeah, he's always posted quite the interesting sketches. I can remember he does like charcoal?
Yeah, and pencil. Yeah. So a bunch of his drawings are at the Belvoir Winery. One of them is in the Sally House. It's a sketch of what Sally looked like. Just like they basically just it looked like they just had him draw one that matched up with what Tony Pickman saw.
Mm-hmm.
But do I know that? No, I don't know that. But I saw it I saw a picture of it in the house. That's all I know for sure. So, so you sent me a picture of that grave up there in Ashmore Township of which?
The witch who died on February 31st.
Yeah. And I did some research. It's not the only grave like that. And so one of the stories that goes with a different one of those is that they'd said that the person had died on the last day, and and they didn't know that February didn't have all the days. They just said they died the last day of February, and nobody spell checked them or date validated them. And it was so expensive to get the gravestones re-imaged that they didn't want to do it. So, which I don't blame them. It's expensive to have a headstone.
It's just sandstone. You can hack it out, and then right above it, put the correct number in.
Yeah, white out.
Yeah,
just fill with some concrete. So, But yeah, I saw that, and after that, I did a little bit of research to find out how many people have actually died on, that were labeled as dying February 31st, and there were like 8, and most of them are west or east of the Mississippi.
Oh wow.
Because after that, I think it was not, it was different. This is all, everything, west of the Mississippi is newer until you get down to, down there to New Mexico and stuff. But, I didn't find any that were west of the Mississippi. So, unusual story. So,
yeah, it makes sense. I mean, pretty much there was nothing west of the Mississippi until 1830.
Well, in 1805, Lewis and Clark came through. 1804, 1805, Lewis and Clark came through the Missouri, Atchison, Missouri River, all that stuff. So what I was saying is 1804, 1805.
My house is haunted, man.
Well, you just spend 28 days in a strange house, and maybe they wanted to visit. So,
yeah, I guess either that or the fiber optic is screwing up because it's starting to get cold out. I don't know.
CenturyLink?
Metronet.
Oh, okay. Well, doesn't matter. I can't help with CenturyLink anymore. I am still working for them, but
there's actually a CenturyLink building like right on the other side of the little block between
a central office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be changing names to Brightspeed soon.
Well, they ain't that bright. I've had them before, and it's super slow.
New company. Somebody bought them. So
anyways, Mormons.
So basically, what Lewis and Clark came through here about 1804, 1805. They showed up on the Missouri side of the river in Atchison. I know that from all the tours that we did. So I know they started checking out the place to get maps drawn and get people to know what's out here. So then Kansas became a state in 1858, but people were living here prior to that. Not much, but prior to that. So I don't know. The earliest house I can find in our area is like 1849. I don't know about up there where you're at.
Yeah, maybe 1838.
Yeah. Well, we do have Leavenworth. I forgot about that. Leavenworth's been here longer than the state's been. It was in 1830 something that they built Leavenworth.
The original Iowa State Penitentiary in Fort Madison, which is still standing and was still used as a prison until they built the new one, I think is like 1836.
Yeah. Well, Leavenworth is one of the only continuously operating prisons in the country.
I'd like to see that.
It is very pretty. Parts of it are pretty, parts are not. But Lansing and Leavenworth, there's like 7 prisons up there. A friend of ours started a group called Prison Town Paranormal because of it. So, but yeah, Leavenworth is they sometimes allow people to investigate some of the outer buildings and stuff. But yeah, I told somebody, I said, Leavenworth is one of the most haunted towns in the state of Kansas, but they don't advertise it. So, but it's kind of interesting.
That was a big RC Cola burp that you were just muted out of right there.
You know me. I burp like a man and proud of it. So I'm lucky if I'm not.
So talking about Leavenworth, it's almost like Alton, because Alton is haunted because of a prison.
Well, so
allegedly.
So one of the things about Alton that people don't realize that's really important is back when Elijah Lovejoy's printing press was thrown in the river for the third time.
The third time.
Thrown into the Mississippi River. They were trying to shut him down because of the fact that he was yelling out against, he was an abolitionist. He was going, I don't want slavery, blah, blah, blah. And I don't mean that is blah, blah, blah. But he had this whole spiel.
Right.
And they stayed up all night protecting the printing press. And by some accounts, the Civil War, the first shots of the Civil War rang out in Alton, Illinois, years before the Civil War happened, while fighting to keep his printing press right there down the street from Mineral Springs Hotel. So we went to the site where the prison was. I didn't feel anything there. Just a lot of water, you know.
Yeah.
I wish that Sunflower Island was still there. I think that would be an interesting place to check out.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
watched that on YouTube. I think it might have been on the Carpetbagger channel. He goes down there and talks about the prison and shows what's left of it. A little bit, there's like a corner
Yeah.
still standing, and he actually shows like the other half of the prison would be out there, and it's just all the water.
Yeah. Well, and then there's parking lot, and that's being used by somebody else. And it goes right up against the bluffs. And fun fact is, I knew everything there was to know about Alton before I was doing tours in Atchison. And reasoning was, as I had told Ron, I said, I've got to learn something about someplace closer than 3.5 hours away for me to be involved.
Right.
And so that's how we got involved in Atchison. But we would also tell people, if you took a map of Missouri and folded it in half, you know, Alton and Atchison would land on top of each other. Even though they're in different states, they would be on top of each other, and they're both very similar towns in their history. If the railroad had gone through in one place than another, it's quite possible we'd be looking at St. Louis and Kansas City. These being the big cities as opposed to St. Louis and Kansas City.
Alton
Right.
Cardinals.
The Alton Cardinals. Yeah.
The Alton Cardinals.
Wow.
Or, well, never know. But yeah, being helping out with all the stuff up there at McPike, I got to learn a lot too. And one of the very first tours that we ever took was of Alton. The Enos Sanitarium, the Mineral Springs Hotel, the Unitarian Church. The Unitarian Church is excellent. We were actually there when they found the tunnel. They had just found the tunnel from during the Underground Railroad days.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, if you want to go back there, you can, but it's all dirt. And it's like, I didn't want to go crawling in it.
We didn't.
We didn't.
We were too scared.
We were scared. Okay.
Scared.
Us scared.
Us scared.
Yeah, us scared. That's
scared.
scarier than scared.
Yeah, that's an East Coast word for terrified. A scared.
Yeah.
Us scared.
A scared. Yeah. He makes fun of it because he thinks it bothers me, but it doesn't. I don't say it. I always made fun of people that said a scared. I also made fun of people that said library.
Oh, library.
Yep. I have to make fun of the people who say library instead of library. So
We used to go to an auction every Friday night, and the guy would say jewelry. This next lot is a bunch of jewelry.
So I don't know. I don't even know what to say to that. I think it's funny hearing people from, when I was growing up, and they'd say idea.
No,
You have an idea? No, I have an idea. No, it always bothered me, because that's huge in Patterson, New Jersey. So, well, like I said, Patterson, New Jersey's just 20 minutes from New York City. It was one of the places that we lived.
My
So-
grandfather grew up in Indiana, so it was always oral, and foral, and tars and fars, and yeah.
It, like I said, I can't even say Baltimore the way my family says it. Actually, I can. It's Balmer. Balmer.
You go to Baltimore and Louisville,
Yeah, it's supposed to be one syllable. Louisville is supposed to be one syllable. And my mom would always laugh at me because I would always say Louisville, and she'd go, "No, it's Louisville." I'm like,
Louisville.
Pikeville.
Luhhhvill.
Pikeville is worse, because they would go, "It's Parkville." Parkville. I'm like, okay. And the thing is the guest I was supposed to have on tonight, Holly Mullins, does events in Pikeville, Kentucky. So, which is where my mom was living when she passed away. So, and we keep losing Nick, and so we're trying to have lots of fun here, but we're just playing tag. Yeah, we're just playing tag.
All right.
Where'd Nick go this time? So,
nowhere. It was just a split second. It just. Boop.
You know what? It's probably kids are at home and they're on their internet and they're dragging it down and. Well, yeah, they're watching porn. So, well,
speaking of porn, I got to talk to you offline.
Oh, okay.
Don't let me forget.
Did my OnlyFans account shut down again?
Yeah.
Carl's gone, "Oh crap. Let's take her over here." So, but it is during COVID, we did talk a lot about porn. At
Who
one
didn't?
point, we did. I would tease Ron all the time about all that. He goes, he didn't know that Pornhub was real. He thought I was making it up.
Get out! You're lying.
He had to look it up.
To make sure you weren't lying to him.
Yeah, because God forbid I should lie about something like that.
It's on my favorites.
Now he says it's on his favorites.
Actually, a home page.
He gets real nervous when he hands people his phone and they want to Google pizza. Wait.
That's a lot of pizza.
It's funny. We had pizza tonight. So,
nice.
So what else do you got coming up?
Just that kids' night out. Then there's a couple more radio interviews. I'm actually going to be talking with a radio show out of Scotland.
Oh, with Scotland Paranormal?
I don't know.
Is it a paranormal show or is it?
Yeah, it's a paranormal show. The lady reached out to me. There's a lady that broadcasts from Scotland, and then her co-host broadcasts from Kentucky.
Oh, I think I've been on that show.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I forgot.
That does sound familiar.
Yeah. It was when you said Kentucky that was like, I think I've been on that show.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah. But other than that, we're just going to close the year out and see what happens in 2023. I think it'd be cool to line up, like, since I was metal detecting on the show, I think it'd be cool to organize an event of metal detecting at a haunted location.
You might want to reach out to Jace Robertson. They got their they got their treasure hunting show.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The Duck
Fox.
Dynasty. Yep. No, I'm just talking about like a weekend event, get a bunch of metal detector guys out there. And then at night, I'll take them in to the haunted location and scare the hell out of them.
Oh,
that's what we did the last time. Years ago, I was involved in a archaeological expedition at James Madison's Mount Pelier. Remember, you said you were going to tell me about that. And so we'd go metal detecting all day, working with the archaeologists and digging up nails and stuff. And they really got excited about nails because the nails, depending on how the nail was made and the head of the nail, they were able to date the nails based off the head of the nail, whether it was hand wrought or machine applied.
Yeah.
And that was able to tell them where specific buildings were, because you drive anywhere out in the country and farmers just let their barns fall down. Nobody ever takes anything down, they just let it rot away. So they were looking for the nails to try to figure out where the enslaved workers' quarters were.
So how from the nails could you tell that was where the enslaved workers lived as opposed to a regular house?
They had some crude maps
Oh,
from
okay.
when the Madison family lived there. So the one area that they had detected years ago right next to the house actually led them to doing an archaeological dig right there, and it revealed the outdoor kitchens
Mm-hmm.
and certain slave quarters, enslaved quarters. And that's where they like kept like the good ones, that like the showboat, and the ones that they would bring around their guests. And this is my house. That's a servant or whatever. And they lived up there, but all the like hardcore laborers and stuff, they lived way out in the woods where we were digging at.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd be doing that all day. And then at night we were staying in an old property, old house on the property. What the hell was it called? Man, what's the name of that country group that goes by Lady A now?
Antebellum?
Yeah, it was the Antebellum house. And right next to it, it was the last enslaved like quarters still standing on the property. It was about ready to fall in. And at night we went in there and did some just investigating, turned the spirit box on and asked some questions. I had like 20 people with me, including the archaeologist kids that were staying at James Madison's property for like a college course.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have this audio on my computer. I'm like, what's this archaeologist's name right here? And the girl's name was Kylie. And she had her ears plugged and was looking down at the ground. She goes, if that says my name, I swear to God. And it goes, Kylie. And she's like, that's it. I'm going to bed. Good night.
We had a lot of people do that when one of those spirit boxes would say their name.
Yeah.
So,
The first time you hear it, it's scary as hell.
Denise
That's
hardly
not a common
ever
name either.
comes through, but for some reason for Carl it comes through quite often.
Right.
But I'm more interested if we ask, what's my first name? If it gets that, then we know that it's something important. Hey, Carl, can you play a commercial real quick? Sorry, I got a call coming in from
Yeah,
the
you
kids.
never
So
guess.
Hi, everybody. Brandon here, host of Shaman Sundays. Join me every Sunday as we discuss everything from the paranormal to self-healing. We'll sprinkle in a couple of fun guests along the way. Show airs 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central every Sunday, right here on the Bill of Rights Network. #born. Join me, won't you?
For the past 6.5 years, Paula and Gavin have traveled the U.S. to investigate the mysterious, the unknown, and the paranormal. They were always outsiders, only able to experience events through their own eyes. On their next journey, they joined forces with 6 investigative paranormal teams across the country to explore their local legends side by side. Join us as we learn the stories, meet the teams, and gather the evidence to determine if these tales are truth or legend.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rex.
And I'm Shane.
We have a new show on the Bill of Rights Network. It is called Music, Movies, and Maybe More.
We explore bands that we've heard of that a lot of people haven't, that we feel like you should know about.
And we do the same with movies. There's a lot of movies out there that we know about that other people should know about as well.
And as for the maybe more part, you never know what else we can come up with.
So, on the Bill of Rights Network, every Saturday night, live at 7 p.m. Central Time, Music, Movies, and Maybe More will be on. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you there. Now we'll return you back to Paranormal Pride and Denise Pridemore.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our little break. I hope you took a chance to go get a drink or whatever you needed to do. We took a chance to drop Nick off and bring him back again, so that all worked out. And it was
without my computer automatically doing it.
Oh, it's not a big deal. So we have a question in here from Steve. I'm going to ask you this question. He wants to know, what is the most profound case you've ever investigated?
All right. Not going to mention any names or locations because this was a private residence that I did many years ago. There was a time where Aaron had a pretty big life situation affect him, and he actually packed up and left and moved to Arizona for a little bit. And in that time, I joined a different group, a local group here in town that did residential cases, and we got involved in a residential case. Not in this town.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that. And it ended up being kind of dark. And normally people that like watch me and watch Aaron know that we're not really into that dark stuff. We don't go out like, we're going to find a demon and uppercut it. We don't do that. So this case, it was interesting. We did the interview with the homeowners and just drove up there on a Sunday afternoon, interviewed them in their house, turned the recorders on. As soon as we walked in, we started getting EVPs right away. And EVPs that, I still have them on my phone or on my laptop, like threatening EVPs, like, we will hurt you all, like that. And it was kind of scary. And we decided to go through with the investigation and went back and did the investigation. And down in the basement, it was a limestone basement. There was a hole in the wall. And I stuck the recorder through the hole in the wall, and it was a whole nother room. And it's like, what is in here? What is in here? And there's an EVP that come through loud and clear and said, that's a grave. Holy S. And after that investigation was done, a lot of people felt weird. Just like, didn't feel right. And one of the guys that I was investigating with decided to get a hold of the Davenport Diocese. And we got to visit with the only exorcist that they had there. His name's Father Mottet. You can look it up. Mm-hmm. Sound it out. It's spelled like it sounds, Mottet. He actually wrote books on exorcisms.
Oh, okay.
And performed some back in the day. He's since passed on. Rest in peace, old man. But we took the audio there, let him listen to the audio. So he's going over, we're playing clips for him, and he's got the headphones on. He's holding them on his ears like this. And we get done playing, he takes the headphones off and he goes, where's this house at? So we told him. He's like, yeah, don't go back there. Why? And he's like, I'll be right back. And he stands up, and at this time he's in his 80s, like mid to late 80s, and he walkers out of the room. And he comes back, and he's got holy water with him. He's like, I'm going to pray for you, gentlemen. And while I do this, I'm going to bless you with holy water. And we're like, right on. And he starts praying over all of us and blessing us. And he gets to me, and he starts praying over me and blessing me. And it feels like there's a sunburn on my right foot. while he's doing this. Like, I didn't feel it until he started splashing me. And the whole time he's splashing me, you can feel the sunburn just traveling up the right side of my body. And by the time he was done, it just went off my head like that.
So you have an attachment, a major attachment.
Yeah. It might have been a light attachment or a major attachment. His words that he said after this was enough for me. I don't tiptoe into that area. I don't go out asking for trouble like that. If I run into trouble like that, I remember his words and go to the right people. So
That's
after
an
all that,
important lesson.
after all that was said and done, this is the important lesson right here. We are sitting in the Davenport Diocese. He says, I don't have a problem with you guys going out and doing this. It's very interesting. What you guys do is very interesting. It's very interesting to hear the things that you guys captured. But remember, you gentlemen are not the church. So if you do get into trouble like that, do not try to handle it yourself. We are always here. And remember, you are not the church. You can run away while you still can. And if there's a family or something involved, call the church, get a hold of the church. A lot of people are right now probably in the chat poo-pooing the church. Oh, the church doesn't do anything, this and that. Well, the church has a list of things that need to be met before they come out. Where's it at? You know?
Right. And they're not going to actually investigate your claims. They are going to talk to you. There's a lot of, I mean, we were very good friends with Ken Deal, and still friends with Farah, and they were part of the Archdiocese of Cape Girardeau and Springfield, Missouri. And so Ken would talk to me about this stuff all the time, about how they got involved in doing the exorcisms, how they got involved in the start of it, you know, to investigate for the church to get the Archdiocese to allow an exorcism to occur. And it's not something that usually happens over a weekend.
No,
You're talking, it can take 6 months, year, 2 years even, to get it done from start to finish between all the counseling and stuff that goes along with this.
It's like applying for like food stamps. I mean, there is criteria that has to be met before they even leave the church property, or in Father Moddet's case, the diocese property. He lived there. And without those requirements, they're not going.
No, they're. Oh, Steve says that's his archdiocese as well.
Oh.
Well, Steve, Farah doesn't live that far from you now. So she's just down the road from you. Dexter to Houston is not very far. So, but, you know, Farah wants to make sure that I get baptized. She wants to be the one that does it.
Ooh.
There's some theories as to why things happen to me the way that they do, you know. And
I remember you saying that when we were in Arkansas. Yeah,
that I'm not baptized. But I mean, it doesn't mean I don't believe in God. It's just, I felt like if you get baptized, you need to do it in the church that you plan on being a part of. And the one time that I decided there was a church I wanted to be a part of, apparently they didn't think that I was worthy and ignored me. And so I figured, well, it was God's way of saying this isn't the right church for you. So, and the only time I really want to go to church, to be honest, I mean, I'm not against church at all.
No, absolutely
not. But I want to go Easter, and I want to go Christmas Eve. And it doesn't seem like I want to go any other time. But I love all the Christmas hymns. I love singing them. I can't sing at all. I mean, you hear this voice, you can tell it's not a singing voice. But
it's the voice of an angel.
Yeah. Okay.
Why y'all red?
You know what? We're not on the show that says no BS. I guess you're allowed to BS me here. So yeah, I mean, that's really the only times I want to go to church, but I can't, you know, it always Easter, I would take the kids to church and the Easter bunny would hide the eggs, or, Christmas Eve, I'd go, it'd be, go look at the lights. And I was working for half the churches in town doing daycare. So I never really had time to go, but I did always like to go on Christmas Eve because they would let me go. Then they would have somebody else watch the kids and still pay me. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
So
some of my greatest memories of church would be like going to midnight mass with like my grandparents and stuff, like staying up super late. For me as a little guy back then, I mean, that was a big deal to be there at night. And my grandma, she would be singing along, but she'd be singing in German because she spoke fluent German, and rather than sing the English version, she'd be singing the German version, and it was cool.
And everybody's around her's like,
she's a spy.
Well, we went through, my mom dated a guy that was Lithuanian. So we went to the Lithuanian Orthodox Catholic Church 1 year. And it was nice to see the differences between all the different churches. Mm-hmm. Even within one religion, it was different. Within Catholicism, the Russian Catholic Church, the Russian Orthodox, was different than the Lithuanian. And then we went to a Greek Orthodox one, and it different than the others, And I was raised Southern Baptist.
With the snakes?
So, no, not.
Well, I don't want to hear about it then.
Yeah, thank God. I mean,
literally
in the Appalachians, yes, there were a lot of the snake ones there. The only one I didn't go to for Christmas, besides Jewish, because they don't have Christmas, was Quakers. I never went to a Quaker.
Ooh, that'd be interesting to see. I've been to a Jehovah's church before, but obviously not for Christmas.
Yeah. Or Halloween.
Yeah, or Halloween, or birthdays, or Easter, or anything.
You know what's fun, though, is when the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on your door and your house is all decorated for Halloween.
Yeah.
Or the Mormons come and say that they want to help out with something. Can we help you with anything? Oh, can you help me decorate for Halloween? They came 1 year and they said, well, if you ever need any help, we can help you. We can shovel your driveway and whatever. And it's like, okay, when it snowed, where were they? They weren't here.
Nah, yeah, that's fine. I got it. It sounds too scammy for me. There's always something attached to that.
Oh, I know. But the Mormons, they were doing their mission work down here one summer, and they came to my door, and every time I would have to talk about something paranormal, and that's how I would get them to go away. They wouldn't come back after you did that. So I got that taken care of, and boy, we're playing this Ricochet game good, aren't we? And so I just keep talking when you go, so it's all good.
I bet 20 probably need to restart my computer because this thing's probably been on since 2020. So
well, you need to every 7 days at least you should restart your computer.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me for work anyway. And if I don't, it does start acting up. So
yeah.
Or maybe you should stop watching porn on it. It might be a good guess.
No, don't let me forget after the show. I gotta.
Okay.
You're gonna be mad when I tell you what I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. Well, I will tell you what I know about James Madison.
Yeah.
We went on field trips out there from Baltimore.
From Appalachia?
No, from Baltimore. So we would go.
Baltimore.
Yeah, so you just take the road, we'd just leave early in the morning and we'd go out there and come back late at night. You don't do field trips like that anymore. There's not.
Well, out there, everything's just a half hour away. You take a little goat path through the woods and bam, you're in Orange, Virginia. Or what is it? It's Orange and Culpeper out there.
Culpeper is important. That's where my cousin's moonshine is distilled.
Oh.
Yep. At the
That's nice.
Belmont Farms is what it's called, Belmont Farms Distillery. But
Sweet.
yeah, I got a lot of family out that way. My sister lives in Virginia Beach too. But
Sounds rough.
yeah, I know. 7 feet above sea level, lots of water.
Yeah.
Hardly ever get any ice or snow.
And you're over here in Kansas.
Yeah, I know. Could
And
be
you
worse.
survived the heydays of the Sally House. Maybe that's why you have so much bad luck.
I don't think I had bad luck.
Well, like what you were saying earlier with
Yeah.
like
Oh,
religion
getting
and stuff.
getting
Yeah.
attacked, getting
Yeah.
attacked
Because
and
you were
stuff.
in the Sally House when it was hot, hot, hot.
Well, I just wonder how much of that has to do with Ghost Adventures. What happened after that? I was getting bruised before all that, and then right after Ghost Adventures comes, I start getting scratched.
Worse after that.
It did get worse.
It wasn't pleasant before.
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. Like Ron said, it wasn't pleasant before. We were always worn out. We were always tired when we were up there. And, we'd leave here excited to get up there and all that stuff. We go in there energized and come out going, got to drive 90 miles home now.
With the radio off.
We would spend the night up there most of the times that we went because of the fact we were tired.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there'd be a lot of times we would get called while we were doing the tours, and we'd get extra duty. Like, hey, we don't have all the seats for the murder mystery. You guys come, we'll feed you. We didn't get paid, but we got fed.
Free food.
Yeah, but to be honest, we were volunteers. We didn't get paid for anything. People always thought that we were getting paid to be in there. And it's like, no, if people are getting paid to be in there, then lucky them. But for the 7 years, we didn't get paid for any of it. If I did a trolley tour for them, I didn't get paid. Now the other trolley guys, everybody else that did trolley tours got paid. I didn't. Which is,
remember, I drove 90 miles to get here. Hello.
Yeah, but like I said, when there was something with free food, they always made sure we got food. So
was it good food at least, or was it like boiled hot dogs?
No, it was usually good food. It was like fried chicken and stuff like that. So
yes,
it wasn't Taco John's.
Oh, now you're somebody's stalking me.
Well, Taco John's is right there next door to the chamber where we had to go to check in to say, hey, we're here. Yeah. So it was always Taco John's, and we could get that real fast and get on the bus if I had to get on the bus or whatever.
Taco John's is my Sunday treat.
So you like their churros, huh?
No, I get the 6-pack and a pound and watch NFL Red Zone.
Oh, well, I will say I do like their potato olays.
Those are delicious.
They're too much sodium for us now, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my doctor to tell me that in the spring. Cut it back on the salt. You're like 95% salt.
It's just really bad for your blood pressure. That's all. If you care about yourself, you'll do it. So, but I order everything without salt. And I don't cook with it. So you'd be bored here.
Nah, I just salt everything. The wife's like, you'd probably salt cereal, wouldn't you? Yeah, maybe.
Ron's dad, if he didn't salt it, he sugared it. So
I have a friend that's sugars spaghetti. I'm like, no, that's not a bad idea right there.
I sugar macaroni and cheese. And I have people tell me all the time, why do you do? And it's only me and my sisters. I don't know anybody else who does this. So especially baked macaroni and cheese is great with sugar. But when you tell people, hey, what about the people that put cheese on their apple pie? It's basically kind of like the same thing, sweet and savory all together, I don't know, but it freaks people out sometimes when they see me do it.
The only food item that I add sugar to like that, sprinkle it on top, is cocoa wheats. Hell yeah. Cocoa wheats. It's cocoa wheats, bird brain.
What is that?
Cocoa wheats.
What's that?
Cereal.
Oh, okay. You ask Ron. I only eat a couple kinds of cereal.
Yeah, it's hot cereal.
Oh, okay. So it's like cream of wheat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Only it was like cut
when I
for
make
kids.
cream of wheat, I've been eating it every day for the last week at this point. I always throw a tablespoon of sugar in the water while I'm cooking it, and then I put a little bit of sugar on top with the butter. Whether it's cream
the
of
way to
rice,
do it
cream
right
of wheat, or oatmeal, it's all done the same way. So, and even if I cook rice for breakfast,
I haven't seen Lauren
I do the
in
same thing. I
She
did.
doesn't shut up.
I already
since
sent her a message.
a half hour
That
after
dog
she
won't
left.
shut up. So if you guys are listening,
Yep.
Boston for 2.5 hours straight.
it's a Chihuahua that lives in our basement now, and she's been doing this
Wisconsin.
almost all day. So fun. So
All right, back to the Madison.
yes, we're not okay. So Madison, we went there on a field trip in 1970 something.
Oh, you could have lied about the day.
Well, why? I mean, everybody knows I'm old. So, but yeah, we went there. It was had to be third grade, and they take us out there, and they're telling us all about the slaves and making sure that we knew, everything about this president at that time. That he had this many slaves, and he grew corn, he did this, he did that. They left out the fact that he made his own alcohol, but I know that now.
We don't need to tell elementary kids that.
No, but again, it was still medicinal too. So maybe they didn't need to know. But we went through all this stuff, and while we're walking through, I see all these children spirits that are towards the back of the house, just kind of lining the trees. There's a tree line back there back then. I don't know if the tree line's still there, but there was a tree line back there, and you could see these kids all looking out to see all these kids. So here's all of us from the bus, probably 80 kids, 80 of us. And in the tree line, there's probably 20 kids from looked like they were from 2 to 12, watching us and trying to hide. And
period clothing.
Yes, they were wearing their period clothing. They were all wearing rags. So it's kind of hard to tell what period it was, but they were all wearing rags. And at this point in time, my dad's still alive. So I was not afraid to tell people what I was seeing. And I told the tour guide that was there, because I was hard to believe I was leading everybody around. But I told her, I said, there's some kids with, their clothes are all torn out there. I said, are they part of the tour? And she looks and she goes, there's nothing out there. I said, are you sure? I said, there's a bunch of them. And she's like, I don't see anything. And one of the other kids that was with me pulled me aside later on, and he goes, I saw them too. And I was like, oh, okay. So I wasn't crazy, but at 7, 8 years old, you're sitting there going, and I'd only been in this school maybe a month. So I was already the weird kid now, as far as that goes. But like I said, some other kids said he saw them too. So it was a paranormal experience that I had not even thought about in years, because it never came up. Nobody ever talked about, James Madison. So, and another one that I had experiences with is the Monroe house. It is Monroe County, Virginia. James Monroe's house. My grandmother took me there one day, and we saw stuff, and she saw it too. So there's all kinds of different things happening at all these haunted presidential locations that if you guys ever get a chance to go, you need to go. So, and I'm getting really good at talking through all this. So just so you know.
Yeah, you're a pro. It's
so I was just telling them that they need to really check out any of the president's homes that they can go to. Monticello, where Thomas Jefferson's home was, George Washington's old home. They're all so beautiful and so well kept that if you get a chance, go.
Lincoln's original house over in Illinois. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or his house in Kentucky.
Or his house in Kentucky. Yeah.
Yeah, you got all kinds of them. Do you know the furthest west Lincoln ever went was Atchison, Kansas?
Oh yeah.
He went there in Leavenworth.
Yeah.
And
At that time, there probably wasn't a whole lot of other things to go out there for.
no,
Too risky.
Funny story about Lincoln, besides the fact that, the guy who owned McPike Mansion brought him to Alton, Illinois for the Lincoln Douglas debates. Henry McPike was a staunch Lincoln supporter. So contrary to what might be said otherwise, he was a Republican. He was also mayor of Atchison at one time. But a friend of mine was the curator at the Leavenworth County Historical Society, the Carroll Mansion there. And we pull up there, and there's these stairs that are right there in front of the mansion. Not stairs for the mansion, just stairs. These stairs are apparently historically important. And my friend tells me, he goes, "You need to go stand on these stairs." He goes, "And tell me what you think." And I stand on these stairs, and I don't know if it creeped Ron out or not. I said, he goes, "What are these steps related to?" And I go, "Lincoln." And he goes, "How do you know that?" I said, "I don't." I said, "Am I right?" And he goes, "Yeah, Lincoln stood on those stairs and gave a speech."
Every time you do this, or you just like, boom, Lincoln.
When I'm right, I'm right.
I told you guys.
But no, I don't know how you felt about that. But it was the first time we went to the Carroll Mansion. My friend owns a historic home on the Esplanade there, or Esplanade, depending upon how you want to say it, right there in Leavenworth on the Missouri River. And his wife was the curator at the museum. And they had asked me to come out because they knew that we were into the paranormal, and they wanted us to investigate the museum because they wanted to get the museum on the round of tours for haunted season. Try to get Leavenworth to get involved in more of a haunted season and make some money for the mansion. And we wrote up a report, gave them all the stuff, and they wanted nothing to do with it. They were afraid that something was going to happen. They're
kicking themselves now that paranormal is like more in front of anything than actual history is. I mean, yeah,
paranormal tourism is huge.
Busy,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not like it's like taking over history, but like it's like there's more of a draw.
There is. I mean, because it's more, you're in a historic location, but you're hands-on. You don't have to touch the stuff in the house, but you can at least maybe experience what the people experienced when they lived in the house, or worked in the location, or whatever it is, type stuff. Right. But there's a few places in Leavenworth that I think would be great to have open for tours, because we've got other people that are going in there and doing these events, but we're not hearing about, we're kind of not hearing about them after the fact. We're not hearing, hey, that they've been closed down because of some reason or another. But like Kansas City Paranormal was doing some events up in Leavenworth at one of the there's a Harvey House up there. There's a Harvey House along the rail, whatever rail lines there are. There's one in Las Vegas, New Mexico. There's one in Albuquerque. We got the one here. Technically, Union Station has a Harvey House, at Union Station here in Kansas City. So you've got all these, and they did some events, and I haven't heard anything about events in a while at a lot of these locations in Leavenworth. So the Candle Queen is the only one that I know of that's still doing stuff where you can get in the underground there. Ooh. Did you know they even that they have an underground in Leavenworth?
No, that's a draw right there.
I know multiple people that have done tours there.
Like what's that? Django Unchained. First you had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
Yeah, so it's I mean, I want to go. My friends that drug me, made me go on the stairs. They wanted me to be the tour guide for the Candle Queen. Because there's only a few places where you can go down to the underground where you can get around down there. But yeah, there's all kinds of history on this underground, and you can see pictures of it on a PBS did a tour of it, and it was called Plains Spirits, PLAINS PIRTS, and it's on YouTube. You can find it, and it not only does it do there, but it does what's the River House. It's called the River House again in Atchison. It was called the Pepper Mill back then, where we used to do tours.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really interesting watching this PBS special on that. So there's not that many places that have an actual underground with windows and walkways and all that. You got, what is it? Seattle has one, Portland has one, Atlanta has one. Where what is that? Swan River. There's a brewing company down there. Moon River Brewing down in Atlanta has part of their stuff is underground as well. And Atlanta, that's where Moon River is. I think it's in Savannah. Actually, I think it's in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, Savannah sounds right.
Yeah. And then, up here in Kansas or up in Weston, Missouri, you ever come down, that's where we need to meet. We need to meet in Weston, Missouri and go hang out at the O'Malley's. It's an underground bar.
Now you're talking my language, Lindsay.
And it's haunted, and they have Bob Reeder, who is the best Irish limerick singer ever. And he gets
Really?
raunchier and raunchier as he gets drunker and drunker.
He'll make you blush.
He'll make you blush, and you'll feel like you've done sit-ups all night long from laughing so hard.
I need to go down there because I can use some sit-ups.
It is great. And, the Weston Brewing Company owns it. So actually, Weston Brewing Company owns everything in Weston. But it's just a fun place to go. And ask Adam Tillery. He'll tell you. One of his favorite places, too. But I don't know. We have a lot of fun up there. We could sit here all night and talk about all the haunted places just to get to where you are or just to get to where I am.
Yeah.
You hop, skip, and jump all around to get there.
Midwestern Trail of Terror. Oh, my God.
Hey, Ron, you want to come say hi to Joe Boxall? He's in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe. Ron says hi. So, but.
Lost my voice, but.
Yeah. So tell me, you've talked about in the past, your favorite equipment. I know you guys like a lot of different things. If you were to create something, a paranormal device, what would you like to create? Okay. I would like to create something that would keep him from bouncing in and out of my show.
Change internet.
I spoke up for you and said I would like to create something that would keep you from bouncing in and out of my show.
Yeah. Create me from boomeranging. If I were to create a piece of paranormal equipment, I kind of talked about this on Rex's show. He had the guy from Ghost Gear.
Mm-hmm.
He was on Robert. Robert starts with the W for his last name, but he was on, and I told him that he should create like a paranormal fish finder. There's got to be a way, because fish finder works off a frequency, sends a frequency out, the fish reflects the frequency, and the frequency comes back up to the boat, and it lets you know that there's a fish there. And I think they're the right people. It's not going to be me because, you're talking to the guy that's got a tattoo of a cow chewing on a piece of grass on the inside of his arm, but it's not going to be me. But I think the right person could modify like a fish finder to where you could hold it up and like fire it down a hallway, and it could like reflect back something at you. I mean, if they have ground penetrating radar that can shoot down 10 feet and basically give you the design of whatever it is that it's reflecting back at you, that they should be able to have something that could fire frequency out, 20 feet down a hallway and reflect back, whatever's standing in the hallway. And I know that they're doing it now on Ghost Adventures with that LiDAR sweep.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. LiDAR is fun to play with. I have LiDAR on my phone. And looking at LiDAR maps that they scan of the county.
Yeah.
Individual states have it going on. I know Iowa right now, you can look at every square inch of Iowa under a LiDAR imagery. And it's kind of cool because you can see the topography. Ooh, that's a big word for Elmo. You can see the topography of Iowa. And if it's scanning a forest, it like erases the trees. It shoots through the trees, but it doesn't show the trees. It shows you the topography. So if there was once like a barn or something hidden in a forest, you'd be able to see that square of the foundation. And Ghost Adventures took it the extra mile with LiDAR. And they did that house that was just below the Vincent Price House on Haunted Hill house. And they caught a ghost chair in the house, which it's a small step for mankind, or a small step for man and a giant leap for mankind. But I mean, it's just the tip of the iceberg. But what did David Glidden say?
Oh, he's being a smartass. What about a device that would detect energy but has lights and sound to let you know it senses something?
Oh, no, I'm talking about using a fish finder to reflect and bounce off of a spirit's energy.
It's
And
like a spirit sonogram.
Yeah. And the whole thing is to not use the precious SLS camera, but to actually have like something provide imagery back off of those frequencies coming out. Because I mean, SLS cameras, like I could rip them to shreds.
Right. Because they map on the corner of your wall, on your chair, computer. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to find something. If it has a straight line anywhere, or something that looks like might be human, it'll map. And it's fun. It is.
It never maps a wire guy in motion. Mm-hmm. They're always standing there and making like masturbatory motions, like
pounding you in the head. Stop. Yeah.
And I mean, there's. Like I tell people all the time, do not, just because I rip it to shreds doesn't mean that you throw it away. Keep experimenting with it. I mean, eventually one day the technology is going to get to where those wire guys are moving across the room and doing stuff, and they're not just frozen in time, stuck up against a doorway or a chair or something. Look, he's sitting down. No, that's because you're holding an AI that thinks that it's static and you're breathing and moving around. So it sees the chair as moving around and whatever. But yeah, the Paranormal Fish Finder coming soon from Nick Simons Incorporated.
Oh, and Joe, yep, we do need to get out there to the Cash Town Inn. That's been brought up to me multiple times from multiple people that we need to get out there, and we need to get to Gettysburg again soon, sometime in the near future. And David says, okay, fine. How about a bunch of lasers and a grid pattern? Catch shadows or something.
I'd totally make that.
How about a cat toy?
Yeah.
Ooh, one that when the cat hits it, it lights up, and so when it accidentally moves, or a flashlight. Go ahead.
I'm a bit of a cat rancher myself, so the cat toys get here and they never make it out to investigation because they lose them all under the couch.
Yeah, we're now back up to 5 cats as of this week. Nice. Five cats and 4 dogs. We got a farm. I was grateful the daughter didn't bring back chickens and stuff.
My mom's got chickens every time I go out to visit. She's like, here, take some eggs. Thanks, Mom.
Our neighbors have chickens. We can always hear the rooster crowing. And we live in town. That doesn't seem right.
Isn't there bylaws against that? No roosters in town.
Not in this little town. So... Well, yeah, we could use squeak toys. If a ghost would hit it and it squeaked, then we're good. So if nothing's there to squish it.
if they can't even roll a ball across the floor, I mean,
Yeah, I
squeak
know.
toy is out of the question.
So, and Joe still got 6 cats. So, but let's see. We're going to have to talk to you about some more stuff here. So you don't have anything else in the works except for the show, the couple of radio shows you got going, and the event this Saturday.
Mhm.
And you have any plans for next year? Any events that you've signed up for?
None in the works right now. If you guys want the big guy to come out, I'll show up. I don't have to wear a Kansas City Chiefs jersey there. I mean, I'll show up and drink all your beer. And
honestly, I just give people shit for that stuff. It's just because I can,
right.
A lot of women aren't into football.
No, I just threw it on last minute because I have a T-shirt on underneath this that has my company name on it. I don't want any weirdos getting a hold of my company. Fire that man. He said the S word and talked about paranormal fish finders on.
You know what? If I'm going to get fired for something, oh well. I've been with the company 25 years. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And if I say something that's going to embarrass them, people aren't even going to remember what company I said I work for. So it is what it is. So, and you know what? I have a day job, same as you do. And a lot of the people that I work with in the paranormal don't have day jobs anymore. I don't even, some of them I don't even know that did.
Yeah.
So, but that's not up to me. I don't care. Do what you got to do. So
yeah, I can tell you right now, that's my plan for 2023 to go to work.
yeah.
If some things pop up on the weekend, I mean, all you gotta do is ask me. I'll show up. I'm from Iowa, so I'm not gonna be.
All we gotta do is feed you and beer you, huh?
Yeah, just feed me, give me somewhere to sleep, get me there and back if it's really far away. Otherwise, I can just drive over there. But
yeah, we're only about 5 hours from you, I think.
Yeah.
So David says, how did you feel about how the show portrayed your group, and what was something exciting that happened that did not make it on air? And apparently we're not going to get the answer right now. So I'm just glad. So that is a really good question, David. And I'm going to put this question back up here for you to see it again. How did Nick feel about how your group was portrayed, and what was something exciting that happened that may not have made it on air?
I kind of liked how they portrayed us on the show. I think they could have gave poor Aaron some more time, because his only time on the show is like fighting with me, crying, then like looking around like a YouTube thumbnail the whole time. Poor guy got like no interviews. I mean, if I could change anything, I'd at least give Aaron more airtime, because he's been a cheerleader before the show came out. He's been a cheerleader after the show. And I know he lays in bed at night and cries himself to sleep. But I just wish the guy would have got more airtime, or at least hopefully he gets another project out of this. Like I told the producers, I went to help him out. He asked me to go, and at the time he was in a pretty rough situation, just between living and trying to take care of his baby girl. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Just, because I thought, if I interviewed with them, they might like both of us and take both of us, and bam, they took both of us, and I ended up getting on more screen time than him. But yeah, I hope that, he gets something out of this that leads him to more projects and more TV time, and allows him to continue to chase the dreams. Like I said, I'm going to go to work tomorrow. We got to go commercial again?
No.
It's your stupid cousin, probably.
No. It's not my cousin. And April, not you.
No.
When he's saying stupid cousin, he doesn't mean you. He means my cousin Mike. So
then to answer the back half of David's question. What was something exciting that happened that may not have made it on air? So one thing that didn't make the cut was one night, just you're in there for 28 days. By like day 10, you're like throwing stuff at the wall. Like, what can we do tonight? Let's take the door off the microwave and hotwire the hinge so the microwave works without a door on it, and we'll see what happens. So like by day 10, you're just struggling for ideas. So one night we built a psychomantium, and a psychomantium is kind of like scrying, only like scrying and like almost like an Estes method. I know on the show they said Estes method, like testes.
Yeah.
But so we built a room in the basement out of black visqueen and put a mirror and a chair in the middle of the room with a red light bulb above our head. And I sat in it and stared at this mirror. And I started to go into like a meditation, and I was seeing things like visions. Like one time I saw like a dude in like this like Undertaker style like wrestling coat, and he had a cowboy hat, and he was like, "Follow me." And then the hard part about a psychomantium was like I'd be staring at the mirror, and like you'd start having these visions, and the moment that you'd like go to look around, you'd move your eyes and like you'd pop back out of it, and bam, you're in the basement in Connecticut. And you'd start staring at the mirror again and go back into this like meditative state, and you'd have another vision. And like I saw a woman holding a baby, and then at one point I saw that same woman that was holding the baby like leaned in behind the actual chair with me and scared the hell out of me. And then I saw a dude riding a horse, like he was like frantic, like just hauling ass on this horse. And then finally I pick up the walkie-talkie and I said, you know, I've had enough. I'm ready to get out. And the producer's like, that was really, really good. How long do you think you were in there? And I was like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes or so. He goes, try 2.5 hours. And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I was flipping out.
So you lost time.
I lost time. I stood up out of the chair. I had my digital recorder was over behind the mirror, and I walked over and I grabbed it, and they could see me on camera. I was like, because I looked at the timestamp on the recorder and it said 2:30. I picked up the walkie-talkie. I'm like, I got to get out of here. I'm freaking out. I pulled the plastic back, and it looked like somebody was in the basement, like walked by. And I picked the walkie-talkie back up again, and there's somebody effing down here with me. And I took off running after whatever I saw and ran around this whole basement like 5 different times trying to find this person that I saw, and didn't make the cut.
Oh,
damn.
Well, probably because it's not objective enough.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody can really see what you're seeing. But it sounds very similar to the helmet that Katie Stafford has, because when you're wearing that, the lights are all flashing all around your eyes. I mean, you can open your eyes and look, but I feel like if I had opened my eyes the whole time that I had the helmet on, that I might have went into seizure, or
developed epilepsy,
have a severe migraine. So basically, the whole time I had it on, you know, these lights are flashing all around my eyes, and my eyes are pretty much closed the whole time. And that is an experience wearing the helmet. I don't know if, you know, I know with most of the time with a God's helmet, they want you to have your, you know, all your other senses closed off, you know, your eye, you know, have this helmet on, but you've got stuff over your eyes to where you can't see, and you're not supposed to be hearing anything. So,
did they turn you loose as far as investigating? Did they say, you guys are gonna be in there for 28 days, investigate any way you want?
Yeah. They said, you know, what's your guys' plan for tonight? And we kind of throw some ideas at them, and they're like, that'll work.
Okay.
We're recording. And it's just,
that'd be all right. That'd be fun.
They never ever did they be like, oh, maybe we should do this, or maybe we should do that. The most that they actually like interfered would be like, can you say that again, but with like more feeling? and that'd be it. But as
Oh.
far as the investigating go, they just step back and they're like, see what you got.
It's probably one of the easiest produced shows they had to do.
Yeah.
You guys just did it.
Yeah.
So.
They just sat out in the trailer.
So David says, how did the confrontation with Sean Austin actually play out? Was there a day or two nobody spoke with each other?
So you see us arguing like that on the show, and then when I say whatever and get up from the table and walk away, we all started prepping dinner and had a quiet dinner. And then after dinner, everybody cleans up. Then it's had to go right back into investigating again. Yeah,
well, that's good. You know, I'm just grateful that you guys are all still friends after this.
Yeah, I was just messaging back and forth with the cast as a group chat, and we were all in there. Just I think it was yesterday we were all in there chatting with each other.
Tell Sean to stop using @everyone.
I saw that today, and I'm like, I know exactly what she's talking about, because just the other day he was.
Yeah, so he put in one of the chats @everyone, and it pissed me off. So yeah, he did that, and I mean, yeah, I know he wants everyone to hear his songs, but it's spam at some point. So it just kind of irritated me, and everybody's doing it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that and make everybody think, oh my God, Denise sent something that's really important that I need to see. You know, I can't do that to everybody. So, you know, I just think I'm going to go with it's spam, and it's not the good kind that you eat.
Hell yeah. I just had my spam shirt on Friday, Black Friday. I wore a spam t-shirt around.
Well, like I said, I like spam. Eat it fried with eggs and cheese. And
speaking of eating weird foods, check this out. I'm going to have a couple beers for this one. But look at this here.
Oh. What is that? Dried shrimp?
Dried crabs.
Dried crabs. I'd eat it.
Huh.
Yeah. You just eat
and
them
that's
whole.
shells and all.
Yeah, shells, claws, and everything.
Well, you know.
See the little claw down there?
Yeah. I wouldn't eat. I don't like the crusty parts, but I will say I have had soft shell crab sandwiches.
Ooh, those sound good.
They take them and they deep fry them. Just they don't put a lot of batter on them, just a little bit of flour, and throw them in the, you know, it's a Maryland thing, you know.
Yeah.
And you can only get them certain times of the year.
Asian fellers on TikTok that deep fry soft shell crabs and just sit there and be like, oh, eat them whole, and it's like, I'd try that.
Well, they're so soft that you can, you know, and you can only get them certain times of the year. And my grandma, she would get those. I mean, I gave a guy here in Kansas City a lesson on how to tell the difference between a male crab and a female crab. He's like, how can you tell the difference? It's easy. So
how do you do it?
Well, the boy crab underneath, when you turn them upside down. In fact, your little crabs that you have there will probably have this. So the boy crabs have a long thing that sticks out like this. It's flat, but it's on its back and it looks like this. And the females is a triangle. So one looks more phallic-y than the other.
Phallic-y.
Yeah.
Phallic-y.
That's phallic symbol. So you may have to look that word up. I don't know.
Yeah, let me go. Okay, Google.
Yeah. So like I said, there's a long piece on the male crab and there's a short triangle piece on the female crab. On the part where you open them.
Yeah.
On the back.
Oh, when you flip them up.
Yeah, when you turn them over upside down. On top, you can't tell until you pick them up and look at them and go, oh, that's female. We got to put it back. And, oh, this is a male. We can eat this one. So
David Glidden says he's never had crabs.
I don't believe that.
This is the Paranormal Pride, sir. There's no BS on this show.
You don't lie to me, boy.
You just look at his profile picture, and he looks like that scene from Super Troopers where they're stuck in this semi-trailer, and he's like, and that's the third time I had crabs.
Either that or, Reno 911 and the guy in the short shorts talking about stuff.
New boot goofing. That's David. New boot goofing.
See, and people think I don't watch this stuff, and I don't, but I know. But you know what? I think that we are going to have tonight's show go ahead and end. I've got some stuff going on with Clover again. She's not feeling too good, and I want to be available should they need me to go check her out.
Too.
Both of them?
Tyler came and got his jeans.
Was he here with Clover?
Yeah.
Oh, how'd she look?
She was laughing and hiding.
She's laughing and hiding. So I don't have to, I'm not canceling. I'm not closing up
then.
then.
Feels like I do, then pretty bad.
So, oh, great. Please, David. You guys are, David's in the chat. Just so you guys know, David is going to be one of our speakers on Friday night on the No Travel Required SuperCon that we're having here on the Bill of Rights Network. I can't wait to hear what he's going to be speaking about, because I'm not going to be on there interviewing people. I'm going to let them talk and tell us what they want to tell us. So
they'll do whatever they want.
Yep, you can do whatever you want.
28 days.
Like 28 days.
Whatever you want.
Wouldn't it have been great though if one of your 28 days people would have been a stripper? No.
Anything better than Sean.
I had Aaron.
Well, maybe a female stripper. I don't know.
Like I said, I had Aaron.
Yeah. Sean. That was
I'll send you the picture I took the night before we got locked up. I took a picture of his little chicken legs.
Oh,
yeah. I'll send it to you.
I can't.
They
even
look like
imagine.
stick figure legs. Buddy woke up and decided to skip leg day for an eternity.
Oh, he is a tiny. I mean, very compact. Aaron is so tall and lanky. Doesn't look like there's a lot of meat on his bones. He makes me feel like I need to feed him.
His jawline is actually a tattoo. Did you know that?
No.
You heard it first. Aaron's jawline is not real. It's a tattoo.
Well, April, I'm so happy that you got that book from Reverend Mike Norton. I'm glad you got that. So, and David, it's not going to be censored, but we're going to highly suggest nothing horrible since it is during primetime hours and there could be children listening. So, these people, what am I going to do with these people? So, and you, what am I going to do with you? Thank God we didn't talk about card games, which, like I said, we found
still
out
the reigning champion of the card game.
Well, it's still one of those things that I never knew. Assless chaps beats everything.
You never played me.
No, it's not assless chaps that beat everything. It's the other one. Where
The
is
cucumber
that?
one? No.
Yeah, the cucumber one.
Oh, the cucumber one got me in trouble. So, more than likely, while he's gone, we're probably going to lose him again. So, okay. What did you run off for?
I have that game somewhere in here. It's somewhere.
Well, I tell you, we were talking about this earlier, me and Ron and Carl. We were talking about how the smaller Paracons as somebody going to a smaller Paracon, not the people that are working it and all this other stuff. I know they don't like it, but I thought that the smaller Paracons are great because you get to know people. And, that's how I got to talk to, Linda Godfrey at length about how she did research for her books and all that. Met Jay Bachochin, gave him crap, that kind of stuff. It's fun to be able to actually spend time with everybody. And, at the one we went to in Joplin, funny story, I never got around to talk to every single person until the last couple hours of the event, because I was so busy running around trying to talk to everybody. So, and giving everybody time. So, how do you feel about that? Do you want an event that's jam-packed full of people where you see tons of people, or do you like the smaller events where you get to know some of the people that are there?
I'm with you on that one. I'd like smaller events. I mean, that's how we became good friends. That's how Ron, new Metallica song out on YouTube. That's actually how I met David. Was at the same event that I met you at. Was
oh yeah, and you guys are going to start your rock band. How'd that go?
Yeah, it's coming along. But yeah, I'm definitely a people person. I like to sit down and talk with people. Nash Hoover, you may have heard of that little guy.
Yeah, I met him at the Van Meter Festival as well, the same one where I met Linda Godfrey and Jay Patochin.
Yeah, that's how I met him, and we'll send each other memes every once in a while. We're talking about doing some projects and stuff together, and he's actually known online as my son, and I'm known as his father online. I'll post pictures of him and that I've taken, and it'll be like, "Look at my son, Nashley."
Oh.
Yeah,
and his baby is so cute.
Oh yeah, I get pictures.
Must look like his mother. I don't
text messaged directly to me of that little sweet baby. And
like I said, I have that relationship with some people as well. So, and it's nice to have that, truly have real friendships in the paranormal, that I would be friends with most of the people that I've met in my real life, not just in the paranormal.
Yeah. Before Netflix, I never really wanted to sell anything. Mm-hmm. And I still don't want to sell anything, but I know that now that I'm on Netflix, there's going to be tens of people that want to get an autograph from me. And I don't know, I'll get some pictures printed up and charge $5 or something for them, and just so those people can have them. But it's, even if I do go to a convention in 23, if somebody finally asks me to go out, it'll be more about having that moment with those people, putting my arm around them. Let's take a selfie or whatever. I got to meet the big guy from 28 Days Haunted, and he's actually really cool and likes cats and heavy metal and is knowledgeable on 50s country music and
likes Busch Light.
Horrible diet tips, and makes Busch Lights look small in his hand. And yeah, I'd rather have people walk away with that moment than be like, I stood in line for an hour and that guy was a dick.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you go to a lot of horror conventions, and there is some people that played monsters in some movies and, have hour-long lines, and they're just like, what's your name? There you go.
Yeah.
You want a picture that'll be $90? Like,
thank you.
John Cusack. Had a crush on him my entire life. Met him. My cousin Crystal took me to the Comic-Con here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
$100 for the picture. And by the time I went to that, I didn't want to go see him, because he had spoke. And I mean, I spoke to him, I asked some questions. Of course I did. I'm so shy. I asked a bunch of questions to him and all that. And he got political, and it irritated me. Of all things to do is to get political in a group of where you don't know how everybody else feels. You don't I can understand taking a stand, but when somebody pays that much money to go to an event, getting political isn't the thing you need to do. And it irritated me. And, really since then, I haven't had the desire to hunt him down.
Right.
I still love 1408. I still love all the different movies that he did. But
what's that What's that movie where he's the hitman and he's got the guy down on the ground and he's holding a frying pan and a gun and he shoots him, hits him with the frying pan and shoots him again? Is that Gross Point Blank?
Yes, that's Gross Point Blank, and I believe that the person that he's killing at that point in time is Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, he's bam,
Dan
bam,
Aykroyd-
bam, clunk, bam.
Dan Aykroyd's trying to unionize the Hitman Union. So if you ever get a chance to see Gross Point Blank, it is very funny on that part. So bye, David. We'll miss you. I'll get with you later on this week. So, but yeah, it is funny when you watch it and you realize what's going on. And it took me a couple of times watching it before I realized everything that was going on in that movie.
Yeah,
So-
I only watched it because I happened upon it at that scene. I was like, "What the fuck? That's cool."
There's a, with Dan Aykroyd being involved, you knew that there was some sarcasm in it,
Right.
And that's one of the things. Now he's a guy I'd love to interview on the paranormal. Dan
Yeah,
Aykroyd.
it would be cool because I think when Afterlife came out, he went on Jimmy Fallon and he mentioned briefly that his paranormal stuff comes from his dad, I think is what he said. And it just, he's always been into it. And it would be interesting to like get an interview and just really hear his whole story.
Yeah, so I've heard some interviews where he does talk about the paranormal. And April asks, do you have any abilities?
Look at that. That is something else, wasn't it?
So can you also take somebody's nose?
Yeah. Well,
You
I
gotta
got my
gotta
own.
practice that,
Nothing
It works
up my
better. It
sleeves.
works better on somebody else because little kids don't know that you didn't take their nose.
Yeah.
So,
No, April, I do not have any abilities. I am fascinated by psychics and stuff, how they can in one moment be like, there's a child in here. I feel this child energy right here.
are you
But
skeptical at all?
in the same breath, they can't tell you how much cash is in your wallet. Come on, just tell me how much money. Well, it doesn't work like that. Where'd that kid come from then?
Yeah.
And yes,
Or maybe
that-
because your
that's-
money's not gone. Maybe when your money's gone, they can tell you more about it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go blow it real quick and I'll be right back. Yeah, that's my ability. I'm skeptical. I'm not
I
liking
have problems with that. I have problems with psychic mediums. And I see stuff and I still have problems with it.
right.
I have problems with medium psychics too, and large ones and little ones. It doesn't matter. And so, but the reason I do is because when I see something, I don't know if they're seeing the same thing I'm seeing. Do we all see something different? Do we all see the same? If I see something and they say, oh, I see that too, or is it because I spoke up first, or did they really see it and they're just agreeing with me so that I believe them?
Right.
I have a ton of questions when it comes to that. I don't believe everything I see, and I don't believe everything I hear. And even if I see it in person, I still question it. Ron always asks me, how do you see stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. But I can tell you what I see, but that doesn't mean that it's real. And how do you know I'm not making it up?
Bingo.
Yeah,
That's both of our abilities is the ability to question things. A great analogy you can make to that is every year around Halloween time, there's always somebody's cousin's neighbor's best friend that went to the 13-story haunted attraction. And that the one, that if you make it to the top, you get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
That haunted house isn't real, but every year there's always some goof that comes around and has that story. And you can kind of not calling people that have experiences that are telling their stories goofs. I'm calling those people that find those haunted attractions that are in Chicago, Detroit. Each year they get further and further away. But as far as like people's experiences, I went to Edinburgh Manor and saw a shadow in the basement. You don't know until you go, and that's how I am.
Mhm.
That's my ability. I got to see it for myself.
Yep. That's how I am. If I
Question everything and never stop investigating. Question everything, like don't be a dick about it. It's just like, that's pretty cool, but I got to see it for myself.
it goes back to one of the things that always happened when we're at the Sally house. You know, somebody bring up their phone and show me a picture from someplace else, or not from that day, or anything like that. Something I did not have a chance to witness firsthand, and ask me for my opinion. And
Right.
here's this little round thing, these little round things all over the place. And do you see that spirit in that picture? And I was like, I see dust, I see water, I maybe see a lens flare. I don't see what you're telling me is there. And I don't see faces and stuff. So if I tell you I'm seeing a face, I'm really seeing a face.
Right.
And you can see a face yourself if you look, but don't you don't hand me a picture with a little red circle around it and expect me to see what's in that circle. Sometimes I don't see nothing.
Yeah, people like, especially after the show out, we guys at work like, look at this. Yeah, that's interesting, but like I'm not gonna like make like a defined like something that I recorded and captured. I wouldn't look at something handed to me and treat it like it was my own data.
Yeah.
For instance, this past Halloween, there was the group in Impractical Jokers that's on TV.
Yeah.
You ever seen that show?
When we're traveling, we only see it when we're traveling.
So one of those guys from that group photoshopped the guy's face into an orb picture that he found online and posted this orb picture in ghost groups, and everybody was like, oh my god, there's the spirit of a little boy child in the orb, I see it. And like everybody was laughing behind the scenes because it was the guy Sal's face in an orb, and it was just reinforces my statement earlier. Question everything. Don't just be like, yeah, there is a child spirit in there, I see it. You know, you get okay, where did this picture come from? Who took it? Zoom all the way in and look at the grain structure of the orb. You would be able to pick out where the Photoshop of the guy's face took over the original picture of the orb. And it's just question everything. And don't go into investigations expecting to have the greatest investigation of your life. I saw this online the other day in a forum I was just perusing through. Like, people forgot how to investigate. Nobody investigates anymore. They just go and they're like, did you hear that? Oh my God. Nobody takes the time to really sit down and analyze EVP. That's all you see anymore nowadays is people just doing burst sessions and playing it back. You know, they play it back. Oh, did you hear that? It said,
Yeah,
and nobody really.
And how much of that is this? Somebody, somehow their hand got on them wherever the mic is on it, and it's catching it, or the wind.
The days of the finger slide terminology are long gone. Everybody just does burst sessions and plays it back. Nobody actually sits down and puts the time in after an investigation to actually go over the audio and put the time into the SB7. And nowadays, all the popular videos online, they just play the SB7 and just holler out stuff that they think that they're hearing. You really got to sit down. There's more to the SB7 than what you're just hearing live in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff that should be getting picked up, during your investigation that you may not hear the first time. And so that's why going through that audio is so important for the stuff that you might have missed on that burst session. Even though you did a burst, you still should analyze it separately.
And holler out things that you're hearing, people's stomachs growling, cars going by, because, it can be days, sometimes weeks later that you decide to sit down and go over the audio. I mean, we're busy people in 2022, and it's not like people just drive straight home, go straight to the computer, and go straight into audio review. I mean,
no, but on 28 Days Haunted, you could do that every night.
I did it every night. We'd get done, and the fellows would go to sleep and I'd sit down and I'd start into it, do a couple hours of, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. of just listening to the bear audio. So no SB7 stuff, and just going through that. And then I'd wake up at like 9, and from 9 until 3, I'd be listening to SB7 audio. And then 3, it'd be time for interviews. And then by that time, it's 5:30. It's time to start cooking. We grilled out every night. So like 5 to 7 would be eating dinner. Then 7 to 7:30, 7:45 ish, we'd have just a little bit of downtime just to chill out for a minute. Center yourself, ground yourself. That's a big thing that this guy always talked about, was grounding yourself and making sure that your head's right before you go into investigation, and just clearing your head. And about 7:45 would roll around and they'd come out. All right, let's do this. And we'd investigate again until 2 a.m. and rinse and repeat after that.
Yeah. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about Coyote Chris.
I shouted him out on the show.
Yep.
And I know he didn't get to see it, but he got to see it.
Oh yeah. He is always there for, even when he was mad at me, he was still there for me.
Yep,
he got mad at me one time for saying something political. We didn't see eye to eye at all on that. His dog's name was Bernie. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah.
But again, he was there for us every time we went to Alton. He was always there.
Yeah. That kind of hurt my heart after he was gone, because I still had like texts from him on my old phone, and I ended up having to turn my old phone in to get a deal on this phone. And so now they're all gone, but I still have, Facebook messages and stuff from them that I can thumb through. And it's mostly about, we need to get a drink. Yeah, we do, Chris. Come on up.
Chris really liked his bourbon. He liked his spirits in the bottle. Ron shared a lot of spirits with him. So like I said, we have lots of memories, and they are the best memories because they're mine, they're yours, they're Ron's, and nobody can take those away from us until we get Alzheimer's. So we better make sure that we remember him now.
Fun Coyote Chris story when we did that Paracon at Dog Patch.
Oh yeah.
We were all staying in Branson, and we left after the first day, and he came to me and Aaron. He goes, "You guys hungry?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get something to eat." So we ended up at a Cracker Barrel. We just rode in one car together there, and he's like, "Let's get some drinks after this." I was okay. Well, there's a gas station right over there, and as we're coming up on this, the sign for the gas station gets bigger and bigger, and he goes, "Does that effing say Ricky Bobby's Fast Lane?" Dude, the gas station was named Ricky Bobby's Fast Lane, like from the movie Talladega Nights with Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands, Ricky Bobby. And we had tears in our eyes when we were walking into that gas station. They probably thought we were on drugs because we were outside laughing so damn hard at Ricky Bobby.
Where you should have went was Macadoodles, because they have everything.
Macadoodles.
And it was just down the street from where you were at, and you would have probably spent a half an hour, hour or so in there being everybody else's spirit guides. That's what Ron does. We go into a liquor store and he becomes their spirit guide, telling them what they need to drink.
That's Blanton, so you don't want none of that.
No, he will. He will. He'll tell him. And if I'm around, I'll tell him which moonshines I like the best and which rums are the best. And, but Ron will tell him liquor, bourbon and scotch.
Yeah.
So between the two of us, we can guide you through a liquor store. So we have a good time with it. But yeah, we travel the country going to liquor stores and Walmarts.
You guys should make a YouTube channel. That'd probably get a lot of hits.
Actually,
now we're going to check out the Walmart in Versailles, Missouri.
Oh, actually, I want to go there. I want to go to that town in Missouri because they have a huge Civil War history.
Yeah,
and Palmyra.
Yeah, Palmyra. I've been to the Versailles Historical Society. my in-laws have a house on the Lake of the Ozarks and down the street in Gravois Mills, Missouri.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a cloudy, rainy day. So I went out with my metal detector and they were open. I just swung in there. I'm like, is it cool to metal detect at like parks and stuff here in town? They're like, you're doing what? And ended up sitting there talking and went over a lot of the history of the town. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. April, yeah. It's Wisconsin. They need to drink. And
Wisconsin invented being blackout
sorry.
drunk.
yeah, Wisconsin sucks. But I am glad that you're in Wisconsin and not in Idaho. So we're good.
Yeah.
But we Palmyra is not too far from. It's on the east side of the state, and did we freeze up? Nope, we're good. I just thought everything stopped. So
Did you see that too?
yes.
It kicked me off StreamYard and said, "Oh, try again." And I went, "What the hell?" So,
Oh well. So Palmyra, there was 11 Union soldiers killed by the Confederates. I don't know the whole story, but it all happened right in the middle of town. So I'd like to go check it out and see if you feel anything,
Right.
how is it truly haunted? I don't know. But again, like I said, from where you live to where I live, we could make a trail of haunted places to get from point A back to point A in a nice big circle.
Yeah. You can go all over the place. And you got to go past the mighty Jeff City just to get to the towns that we're talking about. Well, I do. You don't, but I do.
No. Well, actually, I can go by that way to get down to Lake of the Ozarks. It's actually, it's not faster, but
yeah. Would you just shoot up to like Kingdom City, then come down through like Fulton, then right into Jeff City?
Well, if we go, we have to stop at his cousin's house, who's a Little Debbie person, and I have to drop off tasty cakes to tease him. So that's my job. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show and playing hide and seek with Nick. So this has been a new thing for us to do this. So join us tomorrow night on Paranormal Nation Radio, Not So Normal, when our guest is Irene Takura, and with special guest host Alex Matsuo. We're going to be talking about the paranormal in Japan. How
I just sent her a message today. That's freaking awesome that she gets to do that.
Yeah.
Just because of her Japanese heritage and just meeting up like that. That's awesome. I am excited for Alex.
I think it's going to be fun to hear Irene's take on it and how Alex, feels about it in her, from the culture that she's from and involved in. So, and then Irene is in Tokyo, so it'll be nice to hear it from her standpoint. So that's going to be fun. Join us here on Friday night for the No Travel Required SuperCon, and we've got lots of speakers for you. I'll have you guys out some links on that tomorrow. So if you guys have anybody that you'd like to see, we have one opening left, and unless I just don't want to go out there and bug people to do it. So, if there's somebody out there you guys want to hear from, tell me. I'll see if I can get them on to speak for 45 minutes or so. And if you got something you want to sell, tell me. We'll figure it out and get you on here. So my guest next week, I don't know. We'll find out. Well, I'll find out.
Denise might call me in the middle of a grocery store again. I'll have to throw down my pork rinds and zip home.
Okay, pork rinds, barbecued or not?
Barbecue.
That's right. Spicy or not spicy?
Spicy.
Okay, I like mine not spicy, but I also don't eat pork anymore, so.
Not at the same time. There's the barbecue kind, and then there's the spicy kind. They stopped selling the one kind that I really liked was hot and spicy cracklings. So now I'm back to just the big fan pieces that are like that,
Well, I tell you, the one thing I miss from pork is cooking the skin myself and getting it all done. we don't eat pork, can't get them anymore. So it is what it is. So, but everybody, please join us here on the Bill of Rights Network for all the shows Monday through Sunday. We've got something for everybody. I hope you guys all like it. So come back and join us next week here on the Paranormal Pride at 7 p.m. Central. And we're all going to have a great week and see you guys all tomorrow night. Thank you, Nick, so much for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.